Hey everyone, Dylan here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing another new series along with this week that I've done. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be similar to a top 5, but a little bit different. I'm going to be ranking my, least best to worst Dragon Ball Z arcs. But not only that, I'm going to be putting them into, the whole tier list rank that you've kind of seen. So like, F being the worst and S tier being, great, like amazing, awesome, terrific. And how this is going to kind of work is it's going to be kind of a top list in a way, but I don't want to just call it a top 4, but I wanted to sprinkle in a tier list as well. It's not great that I only have 4 arcs to work with here, but just fun fact. This is for the anime, by the way. If you didn't know. So taking that into account, but the Garlic Jr. saga is filler and I hate it, so I'm not really going to be counting it here, but if I were to put it into a freaking list, I'd probably put it into like E tier. E tier or F tier, because I don't like it at all, but like E or F tier, pretty much. Trash tier. Yeah, and so when I'm ranking them in the order for the first part, it's going to be just kind of my own personal feelings on it and how I like them. And then I'm going to try to think about it a little bit more with the tier list. So the listing will be a little flipped around between each, but I just want to do that both. And I may not always do a tier list with doing like ranking videos, but I'm just doing it here just as an example for you to know what to expect. And in further videos, I will show it. But we will get started with just a ranking. So my 4th in terms of ranking of the Dragon Ball Z sagas, arcs, whatever you want to call them, is the Frieza Arc. Now, most people just would refer to it as the Frieza Arc. I mean, I think you could also call it the Namek Arc too, but we'll just stick with Frieza Arc, and that's in my last place. Because, for me personally, there's a lot of cool stuff in it, right? There's Goku going Super Saiyan, which is really awesome, an iconic moment. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Goku, like, one-shotting Raccoon, taking down the Ginyu Force, and, Vegeta doing some, like, tactical stuff with Frieza and stuff. But there's something about the Frieza arc itself that I don't personally care for. I think it, is too long. I think it's too drawn out. And also, can we just say that, you get tired of seeing the same stuff over and over and over? I mean, Namek is what I'm referring to. Namek pretty much looks the same everywhere, and I got so sick of seeing Namek. It just feels like it's over. Like, I wish there was just different. Like, you see something different, it's just Namek. Like, I hate it. And it gets really taxing visually. And not to mention, like I said, it's just really drawn out and long, and a lot of fights that don't matter, you don't really care about. Gohan looks his dumbest, like with the bowl cut and like the armor. I think he looks the worst that he's ever looked, and I hate that. Like Gohan, Krillin doesn't look much better. I don't know. Like I said, like near the end when they're really fighting Frieza, like that's like more of the better parts, and of course Goku going Super Saiyan. But all in all, like I don't like. The Frieza arc is cool, but I don't really like it that much, like, looking back at it. Like, yeah, it came with Super Saiyan and all that, but for me personally, this is kind of at my end of the list, my least favorite. Not that I don't like it. I do like it, but, I don't, like, love it or anything. And, so yeah. Sorry if you hear the door. I think a cat's pushing on the door if you hear that. But so that is my number 4. And next, my number 3 is the Saiyan Saga, or Arc. So the Saiyan Arc is, of course, the stuff with, Goku finding out that he's an alien and that he's a Saiyan and he meets his brother and all that cool stuff. He dies, trains with King Kai, gets a lot stronger. Then later the other Saiyans come back. You see Piccolo, you get introduced to Gohan. The Saiyan arc was really cool. I can't really say there was anything really wrong with it or bad. Like, it is just a solid arc. You get to see a lot of the Z fighters. I guess that's not really the proper name. You shouldn't say Z fighters, but whatever. You get to see the Warriors of Earth fight and be a little bit relevant here, and then they'll never be relevant again, unfortunately. At least a couple of them. So you get the stuff with Yamcha. I mean, Yamcha does kind of turn into a joke here. I guess he was kind of a joke even in Dragon Ball a little bit too at a certain point. But he was cool though. He did take down a Cyberman, and we might look at that and be like, well, that's no big deal to today's standards. But a Cyberman is like near the strength of Raditz, which Goku and Piccolo could barely defeat. So I would say, coming from where he was and how much stronger he got, I think that's pretty impressive. And I think there should be more credit drawn there. I know it's hard to do that now with like having seen Super Saiyan gods and gods of destruction and all that kind of stuff. But kind of think about it a little bit. It's still really impressive that he took one down and beat it. And then of course he gets blown up and dies. But you get to see them kind of fight and be cool. Tien, and Chaozu. Was that the last thing Chaozu ever did? Was like blow up on Nappa? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. That's the last thing I think he ever did, and then no one ever cared about Chaozu again. But I guess that's for the best. It's fine. But yeah. So and then Goku showing up like he's like Kaioken, and then the Spirit Bomb, and all that kind of stuff. His iconic fight with Vegeta, and the like Kaioken times 4. Like, they're like blast him into space. It was all around a solid arc and really memorable. And I don't know, I just kind of like it more than the Frieza arc, personally. But Super Saiyan is cooler. But, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the Saiyan arc is a little bit better for me, personally. It just stays on track for the most part. And all that. So, yeah. And next is my number 2, which is the Majin Buu arc. So, a lot of stuff happens in the Majin Buu arc. A lot of cool stuff that really does happen, We get pretty much adult Gohan, almost adult Gohan. I don't remember how old he was, but close enough, right? He's older, which he might be ruined a little bit here but we get a lot of different stuff. We get Goku and Vegeta turning Super Saiyan 2. We get Majin Vegeta. We get Goku and Vegeta having a crazy battle. We get Vegeta, kind of getting character development. We get Ultimate Gohan. We get Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That freaking, and this is to go further beyond. We get all the iconic moments, and then we also get fusion. We get Gotenks, and then we get Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, like Nani. And then we're not done there, folks. Then we get freaking Vegito and just all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in the Buu arc that is just really memorable to me and I really love. And so that's why I just kind of put it at number 2. I don't know. I know for some people the Buu arc is maybe people's least favorite arcs, but I actually really love the Buu arc. So yeah. So that's where my number 2 is. And then my number 1 in my rankings is the Cell arc. So I don't actually know. I'm not a Dragon Ball Z scholar or anything like that. I'm not sure if they classify this as in 2 different arcs, like the Android Saga or arc, and then the Cell Saga. The majority of the arc is really about androids, and then Cell kind of appears. So, I mean, I don't know if you could count them as 2 separate arcs, but most people just would refer to all of it as a Cell arc, and that's kind of what I'm going to do here. And the Cell arc is my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Z. I love it so much. You get, of course, Trunks' awesome appearance for the first time. We just got done seeing Goku turn into a Super Saiyan, and he comes up, he appears. We're like, who is going to deal with, Frieza and his father, King Cold? And then he just appears. He transforms into Super Saiyan, and then we're like, what in the hell? He just kills Frieza. He has a sword. Everybody with a sword is badass in anime. We know this, except for Yajirobe. But so it was crazy. This is a freaking heck of a way to start the arc. And then later you have him and Goku meet, 2 Super Saiyans. later on, you have the androids, they're really strong. And just in this arc, there's a lot of mystery and intrigue. There's some darkness from like the future and what happens. And Vegeta ends up going Super Saiyan and having an awesome moment. Gohan ends up going Super Saiyan. Goku gets better with his Super Saiyan. You get Super Vegeta with improving his Super Saiyan. You get Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. You get all these different Super Saiyans for the first time, and it was so freaking cool and awesome. Even Piccolo gets some shine in this arc by it wasn't the greatest, but he did fuse with Kami and get even stronger. And he had a really good fight with 17. I think that fight is underrated, and it's a really good, cool, awesome fight. Piccolo got some shine. And so, I don't know, I just love everything about it. Trunks being introduced, a new cool character, all the different Super Saiyans, the mystery and intrigue, the future stuff. I just love the future. Like, I don't know, I like to call it the Future Trunks arc, kind of, or the Future arc, kind of in a way, but like, it is the Cell arc. And that's why, like, just with everything, the Cell arc is my favorite arc. I just love it to death. It's great. But yeah, so that is my my rankings for where I put the Dragon Ball Z arcs, and now I'm gonna quickly go through the tier list. I'm gonna put into B tier the Majin Buu saga. Like I said, the tier list will kind of change a little bit because I'm gonna try to be a little more fair with it instead of just my bias. But with the Majin Buu arc, it kind of was all over the place, and like they didn't know where they were going with things. It had a lot of cool moments, but moments that just seemed like what are you doing? We kind of get the sense that probably at this point, Toriyama did not know how to end the series, and so he had all this different stuff happen, and we're just in like Ultimate Gohan being completely wasted. I just really hated that, and it just ended up like just being. There were a lot of good parts in it, and that's why I still think Majin Buu is a solid B tier, but I can't really put it any higher than that. There's a lot of things that aren't great about the Majin Buu arc, but so I think it can deserve a solid B. And then next up is the Saiyan Saga, or the Saiyan arc. And like I said, it's just a solid, all-around great arc. I don't really have any problems with it anywhere for the most part. So I'm going to give the Saiyan arc a good old A tier. I don't think it's S tier. Like, it doesn't like make me be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. But it's just a solid, good start to Dragon Ball Z, and just a solid arc in general. So that's why I kind of just give it an A. Some people might get mad that I put it above the Buu Saga arc, and some people, I don't know, might be fine with this. But yeah. And then next I put also at A tier is the Cell arc at A tier. As much as it's my favorite arc personally, but I do have to be realistic. There's a lot of stuff in there that like it kind of was all over the place as well. There was still a main point to it, but it was still all over the place a little bit too, and a lot of things didn't make sense. Like I get Goku wanted to fight these androids and all that, but they literally had warning before, and they could have stopped the threat. I know that's not how Goku is, but it was just a lot of characters did really dumb stuff in this series, like in this like arc for the Cell arc. So it can't be S tier as much as I'd want it to. If I put it at S tier, then I'd be just like, I'd be a little too biased there. So I'm going to put it in the A tier. It is really awesome. I really love it, but And then next, we have the Frieza arc, which is going into the S tier. And it's like, but wait a minute. It was fourth. It was your least favorite arc in like the Dragon Ball Z arcs, but you're giving it the S tier. And I am, because it had a great story arc. And the Cell arc did too, but But in the Frieza Saga, it was basically all about the Saiyans eventually being enslaved, kind of, where, Vegeta's background, where he's coming from, Frieza, like, terrorizing the universe, destroying everything. Like, it's not perfect. The Frieza arc is not perfect, but when, like, Goku finally goes Super Saiyan and finally, like, kills Frieza and gives him his just desserts for everything that he's done, it really feels like, you could have a close on the chapter for the Saiyans. Like, they got their retribution, and for all the Namekians and all the people that Frieza's killed, It feels like, his tyranny finally was put to an end. It felt closing and it felt good. I mean, the same thing happens in the Trunks arc as well, but I don't know, so I kind of want, and for the iconic Super Saiyan and stuff, even though there were some things I don't like, I know people can really like the Namek and Frieza Saga, so I think it deserves an S tier. And I don't know. If it weren't for a few things that were really weird and bad, I might put the Trunks or the Cell. I keep wanting to call it the Future Trunks arc, but the Cell arc. I'm changing my mind. Cell arc is an S tier too. I love it too much. But that's my biased opinion. If I put it down as a more objective opinion, kind of, I'd put it at A tier. But that is my list. I'll go over everything briefly if you're confused. So my least in rankings, which are just my normal opinion, not trying to be more critical, but my number 4, my least favorite, is the Frieza arc. Number 3 is the Saiyan arc, a solid arc that I like to a point, and I like it enough. And then the second arc, my second favorite is the Majin Buu arc, and then the number 1 is the Cell arc. And then in the tiers, you have the Frieza arc in S tier, and then you have the Cell arc in S tier if I'm being biased. But if I'm trying to be more objective, the Cell arc can be in A tier, and then the Cell arc is in A tier, and then Saiyan Saga arc is in A tier, and then the Majin Buu arc is in B tier. And that was a lot. I don't know how long this video will be, but trying something different, trying to do different stuff. But that has been my rankings from least to worst, or kind of the Dragon Ball Z sagas, arcs, whatever. And also me putting it into a tier list. Let me know what you guys think of these, and if you like them, and let me know what your favorite arc is in Dragon Ball Z, and all that good stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, trying some different stuff. But that has been it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. I will see you in the next video. And hopefully by then we'll have a new remote button. Bluetooth remote.